understand that they have a need for a product. So if you can do that by using, number one, social media, that's a good way to start. You're going to reach a heck of a lot more people. But there's a lot of other ways to do it in a community. And particularly, I'm not talking about people who are involved in national sales, and then that's a whole nother set of rules on how you market nationally. But locally, I think first and foremost, you need to be seen. You need to join organizations that will allow you to meet people. And I don't mean every time you meet people, you whip out your business card and try and get an appointment with them. What you do is you make a friend and you shake hands and you just let it be known who you are. Church activities are the same thing. There's a good percentage of our population that attends some sort of religious service every week, or at least every couple of weeks. I would make sure I went too, just so people saw me and knew who I was. I think you need to develop strategic alliances. And a lot of people say, what the heck does that mean? Well, what you have to do is figure out how to come in contact with other businesses who are after the same customer that you're after, but are not in competition with you. For example, if I were a dentist, I think that if and I was interested in getting customers in to whiten their teeth as an example, okay, I might try and set up an alliance with a strategic alliance with a gym or some sort of physical fitness kind of place, okay? Because people who are interested in improving their body are going to be interested in improving their smile. The same thing, another good strategic alliance for my friend the dentist would be an eye care guy. People who go to have their eyes checked and spend a lot of time and a lot of money picking out just the right eyeglasses, they're going to be very interested in that too. By the same token, if you come to have your teeth whitened, you're going to be interested perhaps in improving your physical fitness, okay? So those three that I just showed you as an example, all three of those companies should have or businesses should have brochures for the other guy in their place of business.
Yeah, share with everybody.
Absolutely, as much as you can. And refer.
But then you've always got the sour puss out there. Well, everybody's taking your brochures, but nobody's coming back to me. Well, we all know that's a different issue, and it has nothing to do with the brochure or the people.
Yeah, let's take a look at your brochure before we start throwing rocks.
Well, it definitely is a win-win for everyone involved, because I know I've used to teach networking classes, and I taught the same thing to the audience, was that when you can take a team, a synergistic team, into visiting a business person that definitely has a problem or a challenge they need solved. And if you as a group, maybe those three referral partners, can come in and solve all of their needs, they are so happy and so excited because you've brought a great together. And I think that's how you have to look at those synergistic partnerships. Absolutely.
I belong to a Leads group, Leads Club, which is a subset of the local Chamber of Commerce.
You can go ahead and say it. Promote it. That's okay.
Cocoa Beach Regional Chamber of Commerce. And there are about 15 or 16 regular members, and we meet for breakfast for 1 hour exactly once a week. And we all sit down, have breakfast, we go around a table, everybody spends about a minute or a minute and a half talking about what's the latest hot thing in their business, or if they're a guest, introducing themselves. But when I walk out of that, I've got 15 assistant salespeople who know what I'm looking for.
Exactly.
And more often than not, the majority of my leads now come as referrals from people who know me, who know what kind of a person I am, who know what kind of a product I'm going to deliver, and who know they can trust me.
And that trust is a major factor. That doesn't come rapidly. That comes exactly over time, right, with little pin pricks to see how you're going to do things, how you're going to react. But yes, your leads group is an amazing leads group too.
Exactly. And what I was going to say real quick is that how does someone find a team like that? I mean, there's so many different leads groups that I know a number of us have attended, and we kind of step back and think, is this really right for us? How do you determine which is the best type of leads group or leads club to join?
I think it has to do with doing a little research inside your own head and say to yourself, first and foremost, who might be strategic partners for me? Who might be alliances that I might want to look for? And then if it were me, the way I would proceed would be to visit every leads club that I could. And most of them, particularly in the Cocoa Beach Regional Chamber and in the Melbourne Regional Chamber, you're allowed to visit each leads group a couple of times before you have to make a decision. And I'd visit every single one, and I would take note of what professions and businesses and interests that the people at that leads group actually were involved in. And then say, hey, is this a good match for me or is it not?
Great idea, because I know that a number of us, and I've talked to people too that are in these type of leads groups or referral groups, and they say, I've got some great friends here, but nothing's happening, and I'm having a hard time really serving them as well by getting them the referrals, and they're afraid to leave the group. So you really have to put your own, you have to get selfish, don't you?
Exactly. I attended a meeting this morning for my leads group, and I've been a member of the same leads group for 15 years.
Wow. That says a lot right there about your group.
Certainly does, yeah. But, I came out of there with 2 or 3 leads on things I need to follow up on later today. So, and it's very simple. It's just, the guy at the end of the table says, hey, Bill, I ran into a guy yesterday. I made a sales call on an individual, and while I was talking to him, he was telling me that he's having trouble finding the right kind of salespeople.
Wow.
So I told him that I would have you call him. Boom, I got a lead.
Perfect. And that's actually managing your time effectively as well, because I know that is another thing that many of us, we're out networking, we're meeting people, we're in our leads groups, but our time, which is the most valuable asset we have, can be very hectic sometimes. So we need to learn how to manage it more effectively. And I think having a great synergistic alliance team and that you're attending, that definitely is managing your time more effectively.
Yeah, and I want to give a little caveat here, but that's not the end all and be all to this whole problem of prospecting and networking and developing leads. I mean, that's just one facet in a networking plan. If you want to hit it from that point of view, I mean, there's still all the other things of are you going to use direct mail? Are you going to use paid advertising? Are you going to bang on doors? Are you going to buy lists and sit by your telephone and dial number after number? There are a lot of different, like you did in your call.
Oh yeah, when I was a
telemarketer,
that was awesome. Yeah.
And of course, most salespeople hate the telephone.
Just dialing for smile, dialing for dollars with a smile.
Yeah, there you go. But so that's just a factor. It's just one factor in this whole thing about prospecting. It needs to be a well-rounded, complete marketing plan that you put together for yourself that involves all of these little things. Now, the key to that is the discipline for an individual salesperson. The discipline is critical because prospecting is the least desirable part of selling. The most desirable part is getting the money, but the least desirable part is prospecting for new leads. And so you have to force yourself to do so. I counsel salespeople and say, look, take your planning guide, whatever it happens to be, whether it's electronic or paper or whatever, and block out times where you are going to do things to develop new leads for yourself. Now, once you get really, really busy and you're working really hard at visiting with clients, making sales presentations, delivering product, doing all those things that it takes to complete the sale, guess what happens? You stop prospecting. You stop looking for new customers. And so when you get all the products delivered, you get everything done that you need to do, and you come into work one morning, you have nobody to talk to. There's nobody in your calendar. So now you got to get crazy prospecting again. It's nuts.
So it's the hill and valley rolling.
Totally. And every salesperson I have ever met is guilty of it.
I'm guilty of it.
That's where you have to, that's where you have to really make sure you're growing your business so you can bring on another salesperson to consistently keep that flow and edge going, because that is very, very true. And I hear that all the time as well, and we experience it.
I'd like to say something about salespeople versus sales managers, if I may.
And
I may step on some toes when I say this with some of the listeners, but my experience has been that most salespeople don't really get trained properly. The sales manager is not probably the best person to do the training. The sales manager, it was probably a top salesperson themselves. And in many cases, they don't know what they did that made them successful. And not only that, they don't know how to teach. I talk to salespeople all the time who contact me and say, hey, Bill, I'm really not doing really well. I need some help. Can you advise me? What should I do? And I always ask them, I said, has your sales manager gone on sales calls with you? No. Has your sales manager talked to you after you completed a sales call and critiqued what you said? No. Okay, so we know what the problem is. So we've got to, what we've got to do at that point is take the salesperson and make them their own sales manager. Teach them the right things to do.
So a company that is having issues with not enough sales coming in and they have a sales team, would it be wise for them to bring you in to train the sales team, the sales manager, everybody?
Yes. All of the above.
Awesome. So,
all of the above. And I do that on a number of occasions.
And how can they contact you if they'd like to get more information and see how you can help them?
Probably the best way would be through email.
Okay.
I would say, yeah. Just drop me a line by email and let me know what your concerns are. I'd be happy to see what I can do to help out.
Okay.
And your email is?
It is WGF as in Frank at cfl.rr.com.
And I, of course, will place that up on our So Social Radio Show Facebook page, and it is already listed up on our SoSocialRadioShow.com page. So you can find out more information about Bill and definitely bring him on if you're struggling with getting those sales, because it is, I loved how you said, basically you're saying construct that personal action plan so that you have intentions and goals and you know what you want to accomplish.
Exactly that. You've got to have he who only plans is a dreamer, and he who only works is a drudge. But he who plans well and then works the plan is usually called successful.
Oh, wow. I love that.
I love that. You got copyright on that, right?
I do.
That itself will make me want to listen to the show again and write that down because that was phenomenal. Very, very good.
So you've got this thing coming up at the Chamber.
Yes, we're going to do a two-part series. My good friend Ron Burford from Brand New TV.
Mm-hmm.
He's actually been a guest on our show before.
Yeah, and he's going to do the first hour, which is next week. And then I'm going to do a follow-on presentation in August. And
that's the 23rd of August.
Cheri's helping me with the date. Yeah.
23rd of August.
Yeah, from 10 to 11 at the Cocoa Beach Regional Chamber. And we're going to talk specifically about creative marketing. And I would like to say about the seminars that I conduct is that I'm more of a street guy than I am a lecturer. And so when I actually get involved in conducting a group seminar, I like to get the whole group involved with me.
Good.
So it's a relaxed atmosphere, and I'm very happy to have people interrupt me and say, hey, I don't know what the heck you just said.
I don't know how you're going to do that in an hour because I've been to a few of your presentations before, and they are very interactive, and Bill really gets you thinking outside the box and really understanding sales and a whole different concept. So if you want to make sure that if you're here in the Central Florida area, make sure you contact the Cocoa Beach Chamber and register for this event. Again, it's Tuesday, August 23rd from 10 to 11. And just call the chamber at 321-454-2036 and register and make sure you're there.
Okay,
You'll be there.
Good to me, yeah.
Well, and talking about
it's free.
It is free. Free is good, right? And I know that you do a lot of giving back to the community through these different presentations you do. So we appreciate that.
Well, after retiring 5 times.
Working on 6.
I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do when I grow up. But no, I'm very happy to be able to work with the chamber and with chamber membership and be able to offer the benefit of my many years of experience. I had a lot of mentors over the years. I had a lot of people that helped me out along the way. And so I kind of feel like that's kind of fun to do it. That was to be, if I may take just a second, my motivation for getting into running that Jobs for Veterans program was that I had spent many, many years as a military recruiter helping people put boots on. And once I left the service, I said, gee whiz, maybe I can help them take the boots off.
Oh, wow.
And so the same thing applies here. So many people